Why am I exhausted beyond words? Well, probably because I just put this beast together. This is going to be a very untraditional video, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Stay tuned. Before we get started, let's talk about the giveaways, get those out of the way. First, make sure you comment on this video. That'll enter you into the monthly Extras drawing. Second, check out this statue giveaway we're doing, and right after that, we will jump into the assembly. On our road to 20,000 subs, we are giving out this Mortal Kombat statue at 12,500 subs. All you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification, and stay tuned for that giveaway. So it came in 4 huge boxes. That's right, 4, even though you only see 3, because they only delivered 3. Of course, the one they didn't deliver was the base, but they all had very similar art boxes as well. They kind of go together to show Shockwave's face, like Prime 1 does with a lot of their multi-box pieces. So here's one of the layers, had the tentacles, one of the arms, and everything was kind of spread everywhere, which we're going to talk about during the assembly. And here's another layer. I didn't even count how many pieces, but I'm speculating it's probably near 100, if not more. I know that's how much Jet Power Prime was. Here's the body and the 2 legs and some other various pieces. Everything was packed exceptionally well. And to kind of give you an idea on size of this piece, here is Little X holding one of the tentacles. It is just more monstrous than you can imagine. Then a few days later, box 4 showed up, and that was actually the biggest box. Not only biggest, but it was heaviest. It was so heavy it ripped through the brown shipper box. Thankfully, again, nothing was broken. And this was mainly the base. And I gotta say, this is probably the heaviest base I've ever seen. It could be due to the size. So let's go ahead and start with the assembly to kind of give you an idea. Made 888 of these. So when I initially started on it, I wasn't sure. They had directions, but the directions were horrible. We'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, you put in the legs first, and like a lot of Transformers pieces, you connect the torso to the legs. So I started doing this on my own, and I picked up the torso, and the torso weighed quite a bit. That was probably one of the heaviest pieces right there, even though it's pretty compact. It was extremely heavy, and I could clearly see that I was going to have issues with this, so I went and enlisted some help. So this is a little bit taller X. He's 11, or I don't even know, he's 12 years old, and he is taller than his mother already. He's a basketball star. But here we go, trying to put him together. Again, extremely heavy, and also the fact that I had to lift him so high. And this is clearly a piece you want higher up. But I was just struggling from the beginning, and this is a day when I was moving, partially moving to my new offices. So I was moving other statues and shelves, and it was late at night, so I was already exhausted. And you know they say the camera adds 10 pounds? That's not true, it's just fat. I need to lose some weight. So I got one in, and then I quickly realized is you have to put both legs in at the same time before you put the base down. Whoop, see, almost dropped it right there. That is when my heart skipped. So we decided to enlist some help from the strongest person in the X family. That's right, because it's not me, and it is not Little X. I guess he's not Little X anymore. But before I embarrassingly went to check, I had to give it one more go. Alright, so there she is, the strongest one in the X family, and God is she hot. So she hates statues, as you guys know that. So this was a big step for us. We don't even have to go to therapy. So we essentially, as you see, we put both legs in at the same time. Couldn't believe I was actually trusting my son with it, but he did a fantastic job. Now the right leg has a key and a peg, where the left leg just has a peg. So there's Mrs. X, and hopefully she doesn't know that I kept her in here, but won't we agree? She's hot as hell. So now as we start to build it, a few different things going on. First, like I said, the directions sucked, but thankfully Prime 1 Studios now does unboxing videos. Now the unboxing videos are very clear, a lot more clear than the directions. The directions aren't very good, A, because they're so small and you can't really tell which piece goes where. The unboxing videos are done very well other than the speed. They are super quick. So you'll find yourself pausing it and rewinding it over and over again. And that's definitely the case with this piece. So I had it on the big screen TV, the 75-inch TV, which is right behind the camera. So we had to continually pause it and then run back and forth to where all the different boxes are, because we also had to find which box had the piece we were looking for, which they do point out in the video. But what's funny is, my sons asked, why do they have, matching pieces? So a lot of times one piece that goes on the, right leg, where like we're working on the feet right now, another piece that looks just like it goes on the left leg, but they're in different boxes. Now the reason for that is whatever computer they use to design the engineering cuts in the foam packaging felt that was the best way to maximize space. So it was a little bit annoying. And here little X comes in, decent family event. The only one you're missing is little She-X. She doesn't like to be on camera. So essentially, they had you build them from the feet up, which was kind of nice. So there were a lot of keyholes, and you kind of knew, for the most part, the next one to fill in was the next one you would find directly up. Now sometimes it was difficult to tell, because these little pieces were odd shapes, of what direction you were supposed to put them in, and a few of them would fit in multiple directions. And because it's a alien robot transformer, you don't really know if it's accurate or not. Not like if you were assembling a human being, you know that his legs don't insert into his shoulder pegs. And a few of them, I actually found out they were wrong after the fact. Now right there you'll see me testing it. It was actually wobbly. Now his feet were keyed in, but I find that over and over, you'll see me do it a few more times, a little bit wobbly, which scared the hell out of me. So we're continuing to build them up, and as you see, a lot of times you don't know which piece goes in which side. And here I just fixed the camera angle because we had the spotlight in it, which I didn't realize due to my exhaustion. But honestly, the assembly isn't what I would say incredibly difficult, especially with the video that they put out. It's just a little cumbersome. I've definitely assembled pieces harder, like XM Studios Carnage. I remember that was incredibly difficult. RCB Magneto, that one was a pain in the butt. But the videos are a godsend, really. And especially with Transformers, like I kind of talked about, you don't know if that piece, it may fit in there, that doesn't mean it's right, and you can't tell based off of looks because it's an alien armored robot. Obviously you know where the head goes. So the the X-Boys were helping me the entire night. This took about an hour and 20 total with a few different breaks. People on the Extreme Channel member group, which you can check out by hitting that join button below, they saw the whole hour and 20 minutes if they so desired. They also saw Mr. X show a plumber crack and bend over a few times because they get to see videos completely raw. Hopefully it's still appropriate for YouTube. And here's another instance where I just really wasn't sure, even with the video that was in a different room, which really starts to show your senility and age as you get into middle adulthood or middle-aged, is I would see something on the video and then 5 seconds later I would forget about it. Now here in the arm, you're going to see me start removing the foam padding. They had this in the legs, they had this in the arm for shipping purposes, and I think it was a really smart idea. As I said, I had no broken pieces, and honestly it'd be kind of hard to tell if I did. Here I am taking some more of the foam pieces out of the left arm, which is kind of a traditional arm with fingers. Now these, I was a little worried to push some of this stuff in because he was so shaky. But it might have just been in my head because I was so tired and exhausted, and it is such a massive piece. So here X is starting to figure out that he wants to assemble some, which is awesome. Kind of exciting for me because he hasn't been interested in statues for a while since Xbox Sports, and probably I think he's getting to that age where girls, if he's watching this or his friends are, he's probably embarrassed. But he shouldn't watch it because he's under the age of 13, and this channel is made for adults. But a few pieces, one really cool thing is some of these, if it was missing, even with a small keyhole there, you wouldn't even notice. So I give Prime One Studios a lot of props that they really go the extra mile. And part of it, I'm sure, is licensing, where whoever owns the Michael Bay Transformers license rights, they make sure that it's perfect. but I think that's incredibly detailed of them. And then also, it makes me wonder, which pieces do we have to key in like we are now because it is easier for manufacturing? Is it easier for shipping? What is the reason for 100 different pieces on a Transformers piece we have to key in? Maybe someone can comment below if they have some information they are privy to. Now this is the part I was talking about. As I was pressing stuff into the arm, I was really worried it would kind of topple over the statue. And I don't want to give you the impression it's not stable. It is stable. It's just huge. And I don't even know what the weight is. I'll probably have to look it up on the website. Maybe I'll mention it during the review. But I would say it's easily over 100 pounds when everything's on there. It's probably damn close to that. So here you kind of have like an inner blade and an outer blade on the cannon arm, which is cool. And finally got rid of one of the boxes. That was another big pain in the ass, is there were still little pieces left in the boxes. So you had to keep all the boxes nearby. I just inserted the cannon, which did have a light up feature. And now this is the hose. So the cannon actually connects a hose from the cannon to his pack, or to his back, which I didn't even know about that, because you traditionally only see the front of this, which is why I'm glad it is a piece that I'm displaying in the middle. Huge blade for the right arm. So there's very few pieces left, actually. One, this little spike that kind of goes behind his head. I wasn't sure if it was in front or behind. And then, of course, you have his portrait. And his portrait actually has 4 separate pieces that you put together on the portrait. And I don't want to say they fit loose, but they're not super tight, and they can go in different directions. So it took a few times of trial and error actually to get it correct. And then right here is the Tentacles. Very, very cool. What was weird about these is as I inserted them, there was a little bit of a gap, and then all of a sudden, I don't feel like the tentacle moved, but the gap was gone. So it kind of surprised me. And this, you want to make sure they're absolutely stable. So this second tentacle actually has a little pin, you saw it right there, that hooks into the other tentacle as well for stability, which I think was a very, very smart move by Prime 1. Very impressed. And this is a reason I think this piece should be displayed via 360, because the back is almost as impressive as the front. So there you have it, the assembly, and granted I didn't do as good of a job as Prime 1 Studios did on their video, but the assembly of this massive, amazing piece. It is very amazing. I am going to do a full-fledged review. I've already shot most of it to give you the close-up details, especially a lot of stuff on the back that you did not see. But really excited. I hope you guys appreciated this. Like I said, it did take a long time to film and edit, but it is an awesome piece. Very impressed by Prime 1 Studios with this Transformers line. They continue knocking it out of the park, and this guy is just majestic as hell. Well done, Prime 1. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to see this review, click on that Mr. X logo. Also check us out on Facebook, the Extreme Channel Mr. X. Just look at Extreme Channel Facebook. You'll find me. Like and follow that page. I post a lot of pictures in there that either before or you never see on YouTube. And also check out some of these other playlists. And stay tuned very soon for that review. Take care.